welcome back to the channel Edify. So here we are for the exam. It is almost within a week the exams are gonna happen, and I'm happy that we have got a comment to get the another video in our channel, and here it is as per the request and even as per the plan. So now gender, school and society, this is the topic that we have. Okay, this is the paper that we are looking into. We already have completed the summary of unit 1 and 2. Now it is 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in this 3, 4, 5 unit, what we gonna see is gender. Again, it is all about gender only. Gender and school curriculum, safety of girls and women, and then mass media and gender. These are the units that we gonna cover. So if we complete these units, then of course the paper gender, school and society is getting completed. Okay, so now we have all the 3 units summary. Okay, once again let me tell you that the unit 1 and 2 that we did, gender roles in society and gender identity and socialization process, those are the summary of unit 1 and 2 with some example and definition and the detailed discussions as well. Again, this is just to know about the topics and know what is what and how that works. It's not in a deep dive mode. It is all about the glance before your exams. So to know what it is, in case if you are not touching the book, this video will be really helpful. If you are read through, then you can see this as the sum up in whatever way. Okay, so yeah, here we go for the unit 3, gender and school curriculum. Okay, so now as I told you, we'll be discussing 3 units, right? So gender, school and curriculum is something we have some 8 themes. How school shape gender, roles through the textbooks, teaching, culture, these are the things in unit 3. When it comes to 4, safety for girls and women, there are 4 main themes: safety in school, home, work and preventing the abuse and objectification. And 5, mass media and gender. 6 themes are there: gender stereotypes and identity across media, movies and languages. Yeah, these are the things. These are very general topics actually. Everybody knows about the curriculums, safety, how the safety is needed for the girls and women and the mass media. So let us look into it, how this is happening. Okay, so first it is all about gender and social curriculum. So now, how the textbooks is like, the images, the curriculum content is portraying the gender. Often how it's been shown, it is showing is in a men in active or a professional roles and women in domestic caregiving roles. So when it comes to the story in your English book or the narration in your story books or whatever it is, there will be given woman as a pity, caretaker, loving human being, like sacrificing everything for everybody. But when it comes to man, it's like power role. It is like he's the only breadwinner in the home. He's the person who have to do all the the ruling over the home. These kind of things. This is how it's been portrayed. For example, a science book that is picturing the male scientists. There are female scientists. Do you think there is no female scientists? Yes, there are. The visuals are there for them, but it's not been shown in the books. Mostly male scientists been there, dominating. Or a language lesson that shows his mother is cooking and father is going to office. This is what there the stereotypes starts. Right, so when a kid goes to school, automatically the kid's mind is getting registered by default. Okay, mom has to cook, father has to go to office. This is what something registered. Even if mom is going to office, she have to cook and go to office. It's not been shared by both of them. It is for mother can do anything, that's it. But father, go to office, come home, take the rest. This kind of things are there, right? So female characters in textbooks of primary education is portrayed mainly as the mothers and house winners, whereas the male characters are breadwinners. So how they are representation of gender roles in school textbooks and curriculum. This is what a matter, right? So when it comes to the meaning, there are a set of attitude, behavior, self presentation, everything described in the way of biological sex. Okay, in that way it's been described. And when it comes to the rules of masculinity and masculine ideology, all the perception is, it is like the man have to be tough, stay in control, like that. But when it's woman, she have to be calm, take care. These kind of allegations will be there by default. Okay, so even in the language books, it's there, right? Language is like, it's kind of mirror of literature, na? So literature is a mirror of life, and language is something special in literature, in whatever language it is. But even there, it has not been spoken. It is been portrayed as a kings or the seniors, and the male has the superior powers, that like it's happening. So they have been shown in different professions, but women, they have the limited roles. Even when they given a role, it's been limited: teacher, doctor, nurse, social reformer, or air hostess. That's it. Okay, so gender is treated as a noun, not as a social construct. Even some poems and themes in languages are drawn from the classics. So now, next, in the higher secondary level, there also it seems to be girls have to choose the subjects like maths and science on one hand, and home science and arts on the other hand. They are not supposed to choose any different type of subjects. There is, the curriculum is talking more about the male ideas when it compares to female ideas. We didn't say that there is no female ideas, but it is very limited. The question is, why this has been limited? The gender discrimination issue is arising from the preconceived stereotyping of boys and girls. Boys are better than girls in physical education, whereas girls are more into homemaking activities. So when you look into it, instant cooking or being kolam or mehendi, these kind of competitions is meant only for girls. And when it comes to sports and competitions, it's only for boys. Don't play like a boy. Don't cook like a girl. These sentences from the school, from the place the names are registered to the competitions, there it starts. There the gender stereotype starts. Who have to change it? The educated teachers, right? So here we are mentioning these are the areas it's been started. The curriculum, especially books, are not gender sensitive. It does not relate to the lives of girls or women. So again, the schools do have the roles in nurturing young people as masculine and feminine selves, right? They are young people, they are child. So school have the responsibility in nurturing the young people as masculine and feminine selves. But what is happening here? There is some set of, attributes, behaviors and roles generally associated with the boys and men. So masculinity, that is so called as, boyhood, manliness, manhood, whatever it is, they have the responsibilities and, the definitions by default. They have some qualities like that, word that is, socially constructed, made up of both socially defined and biologically created factors from the definition of male biological. Okay, so this is how this happens. Okay, now when it comes to nurturing to the masculine and female, they have, as we told, they have biggest responsibility, right? As I told that the same examples here. So when girls are guided activities in the art and music and boys are into sports, that's not fair, right? So this has to be changed. Now, integration of gender roles in curriculum. So girls and boys, they have different educative experience. So the target students can dominate lecture style courses, and most students prefer to learn in groups. Okay. So here the teacher must monitor the interaction between students in those groups to ensure all are participating, that one student is not dominating the group. So especially girls dislike lectures, worksheets and busy work assignments, preferring to study subjects relevant, that is relevant to the rules. Girls are often relegated to passive roles in the class, performance based assessments, whereas boys are equipment and complete the task. Girls read the instructions and record the results. This is what they do. They are not doing the hard works, they are not doing the practical works, but this has to be changed, right? They are often deposited in passive roles with boys are in active participants. Why so? Teachers can help. So this, contract this bias by reviewing classroom text from a gender perspective and analyzing the hidden curriculum. Okay, so it is in the hand of teachers. They have to make use the girls as a civilizing influences on male students. So this needs to be, changed. Why they use, just to complete the task like recording and sending the instruction? It has to be equally contributed. Equality needs to be there. It can be done only by the teacher there. A teacher is allowing the girl along with the boys to involve in teaching learning activities equally, and have to be motivate the girl students to participate in the answering questions and even in sports, both, equally in the classroom and even in the curricular activities as well. So when it comes to debate, essay, all the competitions, everyone have to participate. Everyone have to participate. And what else the teacher can do is using the visual series like pictures, charts, which deposit equal treatment of both boys and girls. So from there, if you educate a boy, then he grows as a man, right? So there you can get a good man. If a boy is grown good, then man can be good, right? So again, there is a gender issue and diverse culture constraints also. Okay, there is a different cultures, right? So during the period of Vedic and Rigveda, women in India held equal status with that of men. Okay, during Vedic and Rigveda period, women in India held equal status with that of man. But in ancient India, an idea of appropriate female behavior has been traced and laid down the rules in 2000 BC. So these things are happening like by a young girl, by a young woman, or even by a aged one. Nothing must be done independently. This is the thought there was in ancient. Nothing must be done independently. Even in house, in a childhood, a female must be a subject to her father. In youth, to her husband. When her lord is dead, to her sons. A woman must never be independent. This is the thought. It's been there in the ancient. She shouldn't be independent. That is why still now women are crying and mourning to be independent. They want that independency. So these things are happening not today or yesterday. This is happening from our ancestors' time, and still the fight is going on. Maybe it is getting in the different mode. Maybe it's getting in the different mode. Now the early marriage is not happening. But at the age, particular age, marriage is compulsory. If that's not happening, then again it's question mark about the girl's character. Right? Even everything from the school till the dead, every woman have the questions. When is your next school? What is your education, job, marriage, children's education? Again, it's a cycle, right? So this is how it goes. Woman is not allowed to be woman. She is allowed to be the woman that is designed by the society, not by her wish. And this is started since 3000 BC's joint family system, where the property ownership, early marriage, self-immolation of widow, that is called sati, all these things been vanished now. But it was undergone at some time, right? It was undergone by some people. That is our ancestors. That is, maybe great grandmas like that, like those people. So there also women got affected. Now I can say woman is getting affected in different way. but the affected, that is there, the word is there, still it has been affecting. The methods and the names are getting changed. That is what I feel. That is what I feel. Like the names are getting changed, but the women's trouble is still trouble. They are facing the trouble in different versions. That's what I can tell. And during those period, they never know that, they never know that, okay, this is wrong, we have to change, we have to raise our voice. Now the girls know everything, but still adjusting to maintain the phase of society. That's what happening today. Yeah, maybe changes, maybe seeded somewhere, but it's not grown into a plant. It's not grown into a plant, but I believe one day it will go into a tree itself. We'll see. Now, teachers' role in developing positive attitude towards opposite gender. So, the attitude of opposite gender needs to be positive, right? So, the changes of attitude in male and female towards each other, particularly of the male, should be made through education. Particularly of the male should be made through education, training, and socio-cultural changes. It shouldn't be same like anymore. The perception needs to be changed. And the propaganda through electronic media. So how it works? Like television, radio, newspaper, journal, magazines, books, everything needs to change it. Why only, if there is a cosmetics, only woman needs to be act in that, advertisement. And if it is a car and electronic items, those kind of things, only why the man should act in that kind of advertisement, and only the hero generic films needs to be made. Why not the heroine generics? Why not the heroine can be the some main subjects? That's happening, but not much. But in the advertisements, completely it's not happening. Right? Even woman is not ready to see the women's advertisement excitedly. That is what, more pathetic situation here. We suffer because of us. That is a bitter truth. So the things that can change the opposite genders is attitude, perception, propaganda, and education. Education is important factor. And empowerment of women. Empowerment is not like, simply we are saying we want to wear what we want. We want to, speak what we want and wear what we want. We have to live what we are. That's what important. It's not in the, according to me, it is not in the ornaments or dress or in the words that we speak. It is all about the moment that we are living, how we are living. That matters. Living, we live independently. We have to live it. We don't want to enjoy the things, materialistic things. The hearty things is needed. That's what I mean. So for example, let me tell you something. Okay, people talk about freedom much. Those who are listening this video, please get my opinion and give your opinion in comments. Okay, nothing good or bad. Okay, just give me your opinion. When a boy is educated, treat the girls equally. When the boy is educated, treat the girls equally. Does that mean only sharing the things and taking the girl wherever he goes and checking the opinion with her? Is what we teach? No. It's not about treating equally, is just getting her opinions and going like that. So now that is what I see. Getting the opinion and the deciding authority is man. Why? Just to listen. Now only we are into that part, listening the opinions. Of course, it's not been listened. Listening is a good. But what I feel is, it's not about, listening the opinion and giving the decision or taking the decision. It is all about equality is all about letting her do it, not involving until she wants them to involve. Letting her do it. Why do you ask her? Can you able to? Will you? Is not tough for you? Why? She knows, right? She can think, right? She's also the human being with a brain, nah? So let her think it. Let her do it. So why you want to always be in the name of care, why you always want to involve in that, why you always want to involve in each and every decisions? So that's my questions actually, I don't know. And gender bias in education, which is couldn't tolerate at all. Gender bias can be subtle or overt, can be result in small and large consequences, right? Even in the small, it is not good. So, minimal wait time for females answer, more frequent follow-up questions with males, uneven ratio of students-teacher interactions, male to females is like 7:3. Of course, 7 is for men, right? Men are also more likely to call out or act out, demanding and receiving teacher attentions. So, boys are most likely to be called up to the front of the room or to the demonstration. For example, science. Boys are more likely to be disciplined than girls even when the misbehavior is identical. But this is not true, right? Actually, in practical, we can say that boys. But both are equal. Even the girls are scoring high marks nowadays. So it has to be changed. There are several ways that avoiding the gender bias in classroom. Use inclusive language. You guys may be a popular way of addressing groups, but it is an example of gender bias. You guys may be the popular way of addressing groups, but it is an example of gender bias. So make sure that expectations are the same for all of the students. All of the students. Both gender can succeed at math, language, science and reading. Everyone have to learn everything, right? And avoid stereotyping jobs for students, such as having girl clean up and boys carry things. No, it's not like that. Don't tell them like girls can be the teacher and girls can be the doctor and whatever it is. Nurse, this kind of, boys can be the police officer, boys can be the whatever they want. No, it's not like that. Whoever work hard for that, dedicated for that, achieve it. That's it. That's how a teacher should encourage. Teacher should not limit the students achievements or a dream. They can dream whatever they want, right? So the allow and wait time is same, should be same for everybody. It should be, right? Okay, there are some efforts, that is concerted efforts of social reformers like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Swami Dayanand, Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, everybody. But we needs to pay more attention to the education status that's been happening now, what they wished and what is happening, and we should implement every leader's dream to make equal. In Kerala, the two rates are there, 94.2 and 87.86% respectively in 2001. The gap is, widest in the low literacy status. And in Bihar, 60.32% males are recorded to be literate. And in 2001, against 33.57% females. Whereas the females are less. This is what happening even in 2000s. That is sad, right? It is happening in all India level. It's not in particular state. It's happening in all India level. And the gap is narrowest in Mizoram, while male literacy is recorded as 90% and female is 86% in 2001. So, still in the 25, so we are in 26, right? It's been 26 years. Still now, the gender bias in classroom is not completely eradicated. It's not completely eradicated in all kind of schools. We do have different kind of schools now. International, worldwide syllabus, state syllabus, central syllabus, whatever it is. But still, the things are happening. Gender bias is happening. So, what are the measures being taken of minimizing gender bias and empowering the women? Reservation for women in Panchayat Raj institution. Organizing women into self-help groups. And complete eradication of Female Poetic Throw Act. Checking violation against women, especially girl child. Do you think that still now the girl childs are getting suffered worst? And one more thing I would like to share, just because the child is being, abused by someone, the child is being abused by someone, it should not happen. It should not happen, of course, 200% and 500%. It should not happen at all. But in case, because it's happening, right? It's happening. So if it's happened, the entire life of the child shouldn't be spoiled. The life of the person who did mistake, the criminal, the person who did the mistake, that person, he is not a human at all. That inhuman have to be spoiled the life. They are living, but the girls are dying. That's what, most worried. Why should the girl die? Why should the girl should not show the face and come out and face the world? She didn't did any mistake, right? But the boy who did a mistake is like, I don't know how to tell. The boy, they should not kill them immediately. They should know that how the girl suffered. How the girl suffered, the same way the boy should also get some severe punishment. And it should happen. It's not like a boy, it's a male. The male, whoever at any cost, any age, should get suffered like more than a time. Like if a girl is getting the suffer of, 50%, the boy should get the suffer of 150%. Triple than that, the other gender should get the suffer. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. Without any gender bias, whoever makes the steps and hurt the other, they should get it. They should get the punishment. That's what, fair, right? That's what fair. Yeah. So, we do have in the cultures that also be seen. So, if some communities, girls are withdrawn from school early for marriage, still it's happening, na? So, now they are withdrawing from college, not from school. So, that is the improvement we can see. And yeah, of course, teachers' role in positive attitudes. We did seen how the classrooms are happening, projected to girls and boys, and gender bias. That is what we are talking, right? Gender bias is something very bad and worst. Now, there are, other things. Transgender, education, employment, life skills. So, what is transgender? They mean someone whose gender differs from the one they are given when they were born. So, they are differs from the one they were given when they are born. So, transgender may identify as male or female, or they may feel that neither label fits them. So, in order to express their chosen gender, transgender people may transition or change from the gender they were given at birth. They may change their name, pronoun, or style of dress, or some choose a medical transitions, whatever it is. Okay. So, who is transgender? In today's English, the transgender refers to the person who transcends, goes beyond. The word eunuch, eunuch, is in English, okay? eunuch in English is called bedroom god in Greece, okay? Who were appointed as guardians after castration. You means bad, Aken means to keep. This is the root of the word eunuch. Nobody uses this term today because it is constrained to be abusive and disgraceful. This is the history that we have for this word. So it's there in the book. If you want, you can refer it. It is in the page number 170. Okay. So now we use transgender. Okay. Yeah. So in the epic Mahabharata, portrays of Ravan and Aravan. So, whatever it is, Ravan or Aravan, as dying a heroic death in the 18-day Kurukshetra war, Mahabharata war, considered too abusive and disgraceful. However, the South Indian culture have a supplementary tradition of honoring Aravan's self-sacrifice to the goddess Kali to ensure her favor and the victory of the Pandavas in the war. He is a pattern god of well-known transgender communities. So this is what happened. So they also needs to be lived, and they also needs to be treated equally, right? There is a history about them in the book. Maybe the questions will come. There is a biological and scientific description of third sex and culture and gender issues of transgender. What are the issues they are facing? Providing opportunities to transgender, providing employment for transgender, and the life skills and important educations. Everything is there. Okay. So now their history is also there. It is all about, the South Indian myth. They agrees to do self-sacrifice before goddess Kali for the victory of Pandavas, right? His only wish was to get married before the sacrifice. So this has been celebrated as the family. No woman was ready to get married for a day. But the Sri Krishna then takes the form of Mohini and marries Aravan. This single day marriage is celebrated during the Kuvagam Transgender Festival at Kuvagam village in Tamil Nadu. So here it is known as Kuthandavar. So this kind of festival is there. Even it's been portrayed in a movie. Okay. So this is how it is, a 4,000-year history. These are the things it's there. Okay. Let it be. Now, they do have the challenges. Right? They do have the challenges and gender issues. They also face the issues in society. How the issues can be, erased? Only in the way of educating them into proper education job, it will get changed, right? So for them also, the reservation in education and employment is allotted. Marriage and property rights is there legally. And in the section 377 in Indian Penal Code, which is against the transgender, should be corrected and their relationship should be approved. That is like should be approved. It's not happened yet. So that they are not chosen to be, but they born like that in the God's, creature, right? So it has to be recognized. Everybody is a God's creature, and why should the other two genders should torture them? They should live as it is, right? They should get the liberty. They should live as they want. So the important skill sets they needs to have is lessened violent behavior and gender equality. Gender equality is not only between this male and female, of course to the transgender, to everybody. So intentionally have to design the lesson plan, textbook, school policies, everything respect for all the genders, and the women's stories, scientists, it needs to be done. It needs to be done for the gender equity. That is the source that we can do. Now, in unit 3, we have seen about the gender discriminations and all those things, how in the school and the curriculums been happening even in the classrooms. Now, safety of girls and women. Now, where the safety is being located? Safety is the question mark, right? Safety is the question mark. So here, violence against women and violence against, women, its impact, sexual harassment, ragging, legal definition of it, even teasing, everything is there. Even that is eve teasing, history of that, everything is there. Cyberbullying. Okay. Where the girl and woman needs the safety. They need the safety in school, home and workplace. Okay. Physical and emotional. Not only physical. Of course, I am happy that here it is mentioned emotional as well. Because more than physical, emotional, the emotional percentage is really high. Physically, whoever getting, getting the unsafe environment in physical, their count is there. Their count is there. They are getting affected a lot. It's very real. But the one getting affected emotionally in every workplace or in a school or in the home, that's not being known by everybody. It is in herself, it is in her mind and her heart. She herself keep it inside it very safely and living it with the pain. That's true. If there is 100 women, 99 women will have that emotional, the emotional unsafe. Because emotionally, if she is broken, people around her will judge. People around her will judge. That's true. How many of women is watching this video? Just realize for a minute that if you are being emotionally weak at that time, do you think people around you will not judge you? Why she is crying for a silly thing? Why she is tensed for this simple matter? Why she is speaking this much for this easiest problem? These kind of questions you would have got, right? These kind of allegations you would have got. These kind of, hurting words you would have got. So emotionally, every woman, 99.9% of the women have emotional unsafe in this society, which is not spoken. So I'm happy that emotional security is really needed. A school installing CCTV and women safety committee, setting up workplace, helpline, everything is important, and women should face it boldly and come out of it. Now, role of education in preventing abuse and violence. Of course, education plays a good role. As we discussed, a simple boy becoming a best man via education, right? So, using the awareness program, the constant is important, and consent education, the constant education and constant teacher trainings to recognize it's not like once it's done in a year. It needs to be registered in their mind forever. Preventing all those things in primary schools like good touch, bad touch is really important. Let me tell you, good touch, bad touch is not only for girls, not only for boys, it is for everybody. It is for everybody. Even a grown-up woman should know. It's not for the purpose to educate her child. It is for her. It is for her. She should know. Even if it is the partners, they should not do the bad touch. They should not do the bad touch or good. They should not touch without the permission of the concerned person. That's for equally everybody. Even a man should not get the bad touch from anyone. Even a boy should not get bad touch from a girl in a school or college or workplace or anywhere. So that needs to be educated everybody. It not to be done by one person. It needs to be done for everybody. Okay, body objectification. So why do women's body is like related to, as we told, irrelevant things. I'll tell you some ad. Okay, you might know. I'm not telling the brand name here. I'm telling you some ad. Okay, so the particular ad is all about the home wear. We can call it the home wear. Yeah, the home wear, the night dress of a man. Okay, the night dress of a man is what the advertisement about. Okay, so here the woman is falling in love for a man because of that wear, because of that night wear. What does this mean? I didn't getting the concept. Why should it be like that? The dress needs to be advertised in the way of comfortness. Of course, looking good. But why a woman is falling in love for the dress? No, right? What does that woman care about it? Why does she care about it? I don't know. So these kind of things needs to be, changed. Of course, these kinds of things needs to be changed a lot. Okay. Now, the role of teachers and parents. So they do, when they are telling, even they should not tell that, why are you playing like a boy? Why are you crying like a girl? No. Why are you acting like a girl? No. Everything is meant for everybody. Boy can dance and the parents and teachers should encourage, and a girl can go for the football match and the parents and teachers should encourage. Again, the limitation shouldn't be there. The limitation shouldn't be there at all for anybody. It should be there for everybody. It should be equal for everybody. Equality should be there for everything is for everyone in the world, right? That is why it's been discovered, and the technology is going like very fast. The AI is growing very fast. So yeah, this is all about Unit 4, and now we comes to Unit 5, Mass Media and Gender. I'm sorry, might be Unit 3 and 4 might grasp a long time. So now Unit 5, Mass Media and Gender. So we have a themes in Unit 5, that is the final unit of this gender and equality. I'm so happy whatever I can able to pass it via these lessons to everybody. So you can study with this summary points. And now let's move to the Unit 5 of Mass Media and Gender. Okay. Gender roles in mass media. Already we spoke about advertisements and how it's been portrayed and all, right? So now deep dive into it. So the way the media is assigning role and responsibilities to men and women, shaping how audience view normal gender behavior. The news channels have often men report on politics, sports, women report on lifestyle, entertainment stories. Right, there is a newsreader. Woman is a newsreader which is to be happy. But why that woman needs to be in the entertainment news? That's not good, right? That's not fair. She can read whatever she wants. And there are commercial magazines showing the idea that women are sexually attractive subjects, and male being dominant, female being submissive. Even in the popular cinema websites, everywhere the stereotypes are there. And some woman magazines give importance only to beauty care, cooking, home care. They to emphasize the typecast of women in home. The magazine is for women, and that contains only the things around the home. That is not for women. That is for home. The cooking and cleaning and the recipes, that's for a one who take care of the home. Does only woman needs to do that? That magazine can be named as a home magazine, household magazine, right? Not a women magazine. Why does it name as a woman magazine and giving these kind of tips? No, it's very unfair. If it is a woman magazine, it needs to be her own ideas and thoughts and achievements. It's not in the four wall. It's not inside the four wall. That needs to be understood. Television serials again. Wow, still now it's happening. Still the moment it's happening. Television serials depict women mostly as the rival of another woman and an addict of erotic pursuit. I don't know, there are a lot of negative characters to the women, and or else it will be sacrificing character. I don't know why this is. And there is a cheap and mushrooming growth of ad using women's body. That is also very, very worst. Lot of the irrelevant advertisements being mentioned that should be avoided. And as we discussed, the media is today functioning only as a commercial industry. That means commercial industry means making a money, underplaying the values and principles of communication. Underplaying the values of communication. That's true. So there are gender stereotypes in mass media. What's that? Gender stereotypes in mass media. Gender stereotypes are one-sided and exaggerated images of men and women which are deployed repeatedly in everyone's life. Right? So this is simplistically about gender attribute, different role of individuals, everything. It can be positive or negative, but rarely communicate the accurate about others. Right? So it's have some ideas about men and women traits, their capabilities like that. commonly had the belief that men are better drivers than women. Although this is a positive stereotype for men, negative for women. Right? Some people may feel that women lack as a natural driving skill and that driving profession is man job. Who says that? This stereotype has to be removed. So, the television is something, a mirror of the society. Right? It's a mirror of the society. It has to be changed. If that's changed, of course, everything gets changed. But still, this is happening. A child, even, the roles. A child who was assigned male on their birth certificate and who identifies as a boy in, cisgender, whatever it is. A transgender person has a gender identity that does not match the sex that assigned is the in a birth. So at that time, even the parents reject the child. The transgender child has been rejected by the parent. But why? Is it the children's fault? Is it the parents' fault? Is it the society's fault? I can say that this is the fault of lack of education. Lack of education. I doesn't mean the normal educations about school, college. I mean that they doesn't know, they doesn't learn, they doesn't thought to think or learn. Everybody is equal. It's not in their hand. Child is a child. Child doesn't know with what gender it belongs to, right? So the childhood has been completely destroyed by the parents because of these reasons. There are films that always portray woman in the role of sacrificing, mother, care, everything. But not as a, fighter. Not in the all movies. If it is 10 movies, only one movie it is there. And that movie is, not being commercially hit. That needs to be noted. Gender identity and roles. So once the boy or a girl is grown up into, the next level of youngster, there also the TV is playing important role. The media is playing important role. Mobile, everything is like the women have to choose this career, the man have to choose this career. She have to be like that, he have to be like that, she have to be like. That's not good. That needs to be changed. So we have to encourage a healthy, confidence building representations of beyond narrow beauties. There is no, there is a different skin tone, different body types are there. A girl should not be fat, a boy should not be lean, nothing like that. A human is a human. They have their internal problems, they have their own problems, their emotional problems, physical problems, everything is there. No one should comment on others' body. That is another biggest, problem in society. Both the gender faces. And of course, the TV, cartoon, from the cartoon it starts, right? And when we are about to read the magazine, our mind is already registered in the cartoons and in the movies that is made for kids, and everywhere, TV, ad, everywhere it's been. When we are about to read magazine, our mind is already set that in cartoon, TV, movie, ad, everywhere, the male is like this, female is like that. The same we go and read in the magazine. Nothing changes from cartoon to magazine. So the changes needs to start from there. Language use. Yes. Even, police officer instead of policeman, or using gender neutral terms for unspecific individuals. That is also needs to be encouraged. If police one, why it needs to be only policeman? Can be the police officer, right? Yeah, so we did see about how the curriculum is shaping the gender activity, how the safeties needs to be taken care in the school, home and everywhere, how it's going on, and media. Everything is in the hands of people. People is society. Society is the people, and we are the people. We have to change it. We have to educate in and around people and make the changes and make the equal life. So through this gender, school and society, how the gender is being treated in the school and society is seen, how it can be changed also seen. So from the school, as a teachers, you start initiating it and see the changes and be happy. I'm so happy to share the points and all my interruptions also in this. And yeah, this paper completes. We'll meet in the next paper. Until then, bye. Thank you.